Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Brockopp side. Pet Sematary was directed by Kevin Kolsch and is the latest live-action Stephen King adaptation and/or remake. The last Pet Sematary movie was in 1989, which no, I have not seen, so don't expect any comparisons between that one and this one. So we're gonna look at this as its own thing, which is not such a bad thing most of the time. But anyway, so this family moves into this house in Maine because all Stephen King books take place in Maine for some reason. They find this pet cemetery in the backyard, and occasionally that pet cemetery does really spooky things, and the family experiences some of those spooky things. Alright, well, since I got that tiny disclaimer out of the way already, let's just dive right into the positives. I really like Jason Clarke in this movie. I think he pulls off this dad doctor character nicely, and it's really fun to see him kind of devolve from this sane, normal person into what he becomes towards the end of the movie, which is a bit of a 180, similar to Amy Seimetz, who plays Rachel, his wife. I think she did a really good job as well. Just she captures fear very nicely, which is kind of important in a horror movie like this. The child actors they have are good as well. John Lithgow is also in the movie. He plays a neighbor Judd. I really like Judd in this movie. He's probably my favorite character. He just pulls off that sweet old man look pretty well. And on top of that, this movie has some really fantastic atmosphere to it in some scenes. Like when they're going through the pet cemetery at night, there's fog and haze, it's really well lit, and you just got this amazing spooky background with cloudy skies and just this endless forest. I think that just looks really nice. It just gets you right into the world of the movie very nicely. And some of the terror, I think, does work pretty nicely. There are a few jump scares in the movie, which I pretty much, they're the kind of jump scares you could see coming from a mile away. It's like, okay, everything's gonna get real quiet, and then wham! And when it comes to horror movies like this, it's not really the kind where I feel like, hang on a second. Uh, Everybody, this is Alfred. This is my boy cat, and yeah, he was named after Batman's butler. Hey, Alfred, you're not dead, are you? You're not just secretly pretending to be dead. And you're gonna like try to murder me in my sleep or anything? Is that a no? Okay. Well, I just need you to do me a favor, Alfred, and just try not to die and come back to life. Okay? Can you do that for me, champ? Okay. I love you. I gotta put you down now. Ugh. So I think this movie takes a similar approach to horror like it did, where it's not really going for like heart racing, make you scream kind of terror. It's more like creep. It tries to up the creep factor quite a bit, which I think it does work well in some areas, like when the characters are starting to see these terrifying visions and stuff. I think sometimes it's very effective, other times it feels just a little repetitive, but I think it does work for the most part. There are some moments that genuinely disturbed me, like this one scene where Rachel is having this flashback of her sister in a dumbwaiter. That's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to go too deep, but yeah, I saw that coming, but it really got to me. And I think the ending is also really nice. I like the way it ends. My favorite kind of horror movie endings are the ones where things are not exactly a happy ending, where it's like, yeah, I mean, it could be considered positive. Not that I consider this ending positive, but it's just got a very nice, creepy ending, which I think it just works very nicely. The finale is very well done. The big thing that does bother me about the movie is that I feel like, as far as tone and structure, it feels kind of similar to It from 2017. I mean, not just because it takes place in May and there's some supernatural crap happening, but after a while, all the main characters, they start to experience all this creepy imagery and stuff that they're like, is this real? Is this not real? Is this in my head? Is there a clown in the sewer that's gonna come and murder me? I just felt like as some of those sequences were happening, and just like, I feel like I've seen this before. That kind of made certain moments drag for me a bit. I think I would ultimately say that this movie is just simply good. It's a good movie. It's a fine movie, It's not the greatest horror movie ever. It's not the worst ever. It's just good. It's kind of like my feelings for Dumbo, I guess. It's well shot, it's got some great production design, some good performances, and it's got some nice spookiness to it, like I mentioned, it does have its issues, and it wasn't enough to make me dislike the movie, it just kind of felt like a passive, spooky experience. So all in all, Pet Sematary was good, maybe not the greatest Stephen King movie ever made, maybe certain things would have been better if a certain thing wasn't spoiled in a certain trailer for this movie. But regardless, we have this movie, and if this doesn't float your boat, well, maybe seeing a spooky clown kill some children in a few months will do the trick. That sounds kind of weird out of context, but you know what I'm talking about. So, those are my thoughts on Pet Sematary. If you guys have seen this movie, or if you're now 40% sure you think your household pets are gonna come back to life and try to murder you, let me know what you thought down below, and we'll see you on the Brockopp side.